In fact, I would almost say this is like dev update stream worthy.
So at least Campfire Plus.
Campfire Plus, yeah.
Easily.
Plus. But we do have a lot to talk about, specifically around patch 1.1.1. Did I say enough ones?
Yeah.
You did.
111? 111, patch 111.
We did.
We are going to talk about some balance changes that are going to be coming to that patch. And of course, we're also going to be talking about the dates of when that patch is actually going to be hitting, along with when players will be seeing the patch notes, which will be well before the actual patch does actually hit. But we'll talk about that here in a second.
So for this patch, we've got a lot going on. One of our goals is kind of, I think, obvious to the community. We want to kind of improve the effectiveness and the fun of the Sorcerer and the Barbarian. So we've got a lot of changes coming in there, and I think I want to frame this in two ways of kind of what we're thinking about the Sorcerer and then what we're thinking about with the Barbarian. Because they both have, kind of different things going on. For the Sorcerer in this patch, we're focusing on reducing something that we call Kiss Curse mechanics, which is kind of, I know, a very designery term. But it's this idea that we give you a really cool power effect, and then we kind of take something away or make it nerfed or nerf some other part of you in some way, usually for balance reasons, to make sure that it's not just out of control in power.
Yeah, usually the idea there is like, to your point, it's like, so we really have like 20% we can afford to give you, but if we take 10% of something else away, we can give you 30% or 35% and feel a little bit better about that.
Exactly. Usually it's to sell a fantasy in a really strong way, but we can't do that justifiably without just breaking the mechanic. But we found out in a lot of ways we've been a little too harsh with that, and so we're going to try and reduce or remove that in some cases. And then the other one is late game survivability. We know that the Sorcerers typically have a tough time, when they start pushing those later Nightmare Dungeon tiers, and so we're going to be looking at ways to increase that specifically. And an example of that Kiss Curse mechanic is the Serpentine aspect. If you know that one, it's the one where you can spawn an additional Hydra, but it reduces the duration of your Hydras. That's just no longer going to reduce the duration, it's actually going to increase it. So that's an example of something. We'll go into more detail later. For the Barbarian, we're focusing on improving the early game and making it feel better and just more fluid. We're going to be improving the Fury generation that you get from your basic skills. And then we're also looking at the late game for the Barbarian by making a lot of their uniques more attractive and effective. So you're going to see later when we go through the notes that we're going to be changing around usually about one affix per unique, from something that really isn't that attractive for players to something that they really, really want, which we think will help make those items really exciting.